What's going on, good people? This is Balaji from Brave Young Heroes, and man, do I have a session for you. All right, let me introduce this man to my side right here. You may have heard his voice on several of those million view YouTube videos on motivation. He's an internationally known hip hop artist. He's performed with some of the legends of hip hop, including Big Daddy Kane. He's one of the top girls AAU basketball coaches in the country and has produced several Division One college players. He uses hip hop, spoken word, poetry, and storytelling to empower the masses to make every day a Wednesday. I want you to please help me welcome the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Freddie Fry is in the building. What's up, Freddie?
Woo, woo, woo. I'm fired up, man. Who was that, man? Who was that intro about?
Let's go. That's you.
The great Balaji. Boy, that was phenomenal, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to be here, man.
Yeah, it's been a great pleasure to know you, Fred. Fred and I met through Eric Thomas a couple of years ago, and he's been my mentor ever since. I've learned so much from this gentleman, but we're about to take you through a journey of this man's story. So whether or not you're into hip hop, whether or not you're into basketball, let me tell you, you're into life and you're into story. And this man's story, his life story, is stunning. So Fred, thank you for being here. And with your permission, I'd like to take people back to the beginning of the story. So can we kind of step through?
Man, hey, I'm an open book, man. I'm transparent to help other people transform their life. So let's go.
I appreciate it. Fred is so much about teaching kids about how to turn every day into a Wednesday. So literally making every day a victory,
yes,
regardless of the circumstances. But if you saw the beginning of Fred's life, you might not have predicted that this is the line of work
so
he would end up in. Fred, your first close encounter with death was with fire. You were 3 years old. Take us back to that moment with your dad.
Man, my dad is just like, he's a phenomenal mechanic. And he's always working on cars, always working on motorcycles. He was a race car driver, he loved fast cars. And so I just wanted to be just like him. And so I'm at home, right? And he's in the garage working. And I'm sitting on the stair that leads into the garage. And I'm watching him work on his motorcycle. And that wasn't abnormal. I would always sit and watch him work on whatever vehicle he was working on. And so I'm sitting there watching. All of a sudden, fire just starts, just shooting up. I have no idea where it came from. I think somehow the motor or something was hot, and there was oil or something that connected, and poof, it's a big flame. And I'm just sitting there, I don't know what to do. I'm a little bitty kid. I'm like, whoa, next thing I know, I'm just snatched up. I don't even know who it was. I didn't know who it was at the time, but it was my mom. It was my mom that snatched me up, wouldn't put the fire out on my daddy. Wow. And basically, my daddy was burned over, I don't know how much, it was a big percent of his body.
Your father was in flames.
Yes, he was in flames. He had to get skin grafts over a large percentage of his body. I was definitely in harm's way. My mom, who I consider my guardian angel, saved me. She saved me and she saved my daddy. And so, man, if she wasn't there, I don't know what would have happened to him or what would have happened to me. So yeah, definitely was my first encounter with potential death. Thank goodness.
You were 3 years old. I mean, that is I feel traumatized now hearing about that as an adult.
Yes.
You went through this at 3.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. And it's like one of the few things I remember. One of the few things I remember with my mom. Yeah.
Wow. Now you talk about memories with your mom. May she rest in peace. She didn't have the privilege of getting to see you grow into the man that you've become today. Tell us about that car ride to the hospital at age 4.
Man, all I know is I just could feel something wasn't right. And so as we're in the car, my mom is writhing in pain. She's writhing in pain, and my daddy's like, hey, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. And and I'm just sitting there, I'm just looking. I'm not even crying, I'm just looking and like wondering what in the world is going on. And he's driving really, really fast. He's speeding, and little did I know, that would be the final time that I would see my mom alive. That was the final time I saw my mom alive. And I wrote about that, in the car with mama slumping, daddy speeding. Her final breath was taken, left my heart bleeding. I was age 4. My mommy got her wings early. I still question why she didn't live to see 30, y'all. It's crazy, man. That car ride was something else. Something else.
She died young.
Yeah, she was 28.
Kidney
28.
failure.
Kidney failure, man. My mom was from a town. I'm from Oklahoma. If you don't know, I'm from Tulsa. I was born and raised in Tulsa, Oklahoma. My mom was from a small town called Hugo, Oklahoma, and population of maybe 5,000 people. Of course, they didn't have high-end hospitals or anything. She got sick. She went to a clinic, and she trusted the doctor there would know what he was doing. She told him her symptoms, and he diagnosed her.
This is before you were born, by the way.
Before I was born.
Few years earlier.
Yeah, before I was born, yeah.
So she was misdiagnosed.
Yeah, misdiagnosed, gave her the wrong medicine, and it messed up her kidneys. Messed up her kidneys. They told her she shouldn't have kids. She was pregnant when she found out that her kidneys were messed up. And, she's like, I'm not aborting my baby.
She was advised to abort.
Yes, she was advised to abort. Yes, advised to abort me. And she's like, I don't know. Hey, I don't know what you think or what you thought. I'm not aborting my baby. They told her. The doctor told her parents, told her family, told her friends. Everybody was trying to get her to abort me.
Wow.
And everything seemed like it was okay, and until I got until I was 4 years old, and she had that kidney failure, and she passed away. It's crazy.
So you almost weren't supposed to be here, Fred.
No, I wasn't.
According to.
Yes.
I mean, these people were just looking out for your mom, though.
Exactly. They were like, listen, you may not even make it through the pregnancy. Wow. She said, that's just a chance I have to take. I'm not aborting my baby. Not aborting my baby. And so, by the grace of God, I'm still here. I definitely walk with her in my heart. She's my heart. And I always tell people she's my guardian angel. Some of the things I went through is no other way to explain it other than divine intervention between her, the universe, and God. Things that inexplicably happened that saved me. No other way around it. No other way around it.
We're going to illustrate some of that stuff in just a couple of minutes, because you did have more really crazy encounters. But after your mom passed, I know that you sort of struggled with the knowing how to mourn. I mean, you were 4. And for a while, there was no woman in the house, but then your dad started dating again, and he remarried?
Yes. Yes.
Tell us about your stepmom.
Papa scooped me up and took me from the drama. At least it wasn't until he met my stepmom. My stepmom, bro. Man, she was, everything seemed okay at first, and I got a little bit older, and one thing I remember is cool Filter Kings. I was 9 years old. I was 10 years old. I used to have to go to the store every day. And just think back, people don't realize that back in our day, your little kids could buy cigarettes. The first thing that I started realizing, the first red flag, is the fact that I was going to the store every day, walking through a trail. I was 8, 9, 10 years old, going and buying cool Filter Kings every day for my stepmom to smoke. And until they finally changed the law when I was 10, that somebody came to their senses, like, why are we letting kids buy cigarettes, So, but she was mentally abusive. She was a heavy alcoholic. She smoked a lot of weed. She couldn't stay off the weed. And that eventually transitioned into crack cocaine. And so it was just, it was just wild. She just really was a person that tried to break your spirit.
Wow.
And I lived in fear of her. I was very scared of her. And since she wasn't physical, my dad worked a lot and he was always gone. And so I would try to tell him, and she would try to shield me from telling, because I would go in the room, like she wouldn't be in the room, and I'd try to go back to my daddy's room, and she'd always try to, what you doing in his room? Don't go in the room. Don't go, try to keep me out of his room. And I would tell daddy, but he couldn't feel what I was saying because he didn't see it. And then whenever he was around, of course, she didn't act like that.
Wow.
Yeah, no, she didn't act like that when he was around. She acted like somewhat nice. When he left, she was hell on wheels, and she instilled a fear in me that some of it was healthy. I think in the long run, it was a little healthy because it allowed me to avoid certain situations that everybody in my hood were getting into. But man, you have to be able to overcome the people that are trying to break you down. And so my message is always mental toughness, being able to overcome doubters and never let somebody's perception of you become your reality is what I tell people a lot, because she tried to paint me as you're gonna be just like this, you're no good, you know, you're
Wow.
worthless. And it was just it was, and then she was a mean drunk, you know, she would walk around nude, she would pee on the floor and tell
She,
us to clean it
she
up.
well, hang on. She walked around nude
Yeah, man, it was
and
bad.
she peed on the floor
She would pee on the floor.
and
Yeah.
had you guys clean it up.
Clean it up. You know, she'd be
Oh my
drunk.
God,
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
that's
And
rough.
yeah, she had two kids of her own, and they really didn't live with us very much. They always stayed up in Oklahoma City with their
Mm,
grandmother, to be closer to their dad.
mm,
And her daughter, my stepsister, would come and stay with us sometimes to go to school. They didn't go to school with us very often, but other than my little brother, my younger brother, she was pretty. She was pretty mean to all of us. To be
wow,
honest with you, yeah.
wow.
She had to be broken. She had something in her past. I don't know what it was, but there was definitely something in her past that uh that led her to live the way she lived.
And that's tough. I recall you mentioning that even kids, it's bad enough this was what you lived with in your house every day, but kids in the neighborhood also caught wind of what was going on inside the house and would tease you about it.
Oh yeah, yeah, they knew all about it. Your stepmama's this, your stepmama that, and it was just they knew. Our house was kind of the center of attention because it was a lot going on. There was a
Hmm.
lot going on. You know what I mean? And so I had to walk into the I had to walk out into the streets. I had to deal with the things I was dealing with at home, and then go try to be a regular, normal student at school,
Mm,
you know, and deal with the kids that were making fun of me. And
mm.
it led me to make fun of other kids, you know what I mean? That may have been even lower
Wow. Right,
than what
right,
I felt like I
right,
was, you know what
right.
I mean? I was doing a
Survival.
speech. Yeah, I was doing a speech. It's so funny. You don't even think about this stuff I know the people that I come in contact with, that I felt like did things to me detrimental when I was young, and I see them and I let them know. And
Mm,
most of them, that we're adults now, so it's just
yeah,
like, oh, they apologize and all that stuff.
yeah.
But I've run into people that felt like I did that to them. I
Wow.
was speaking, and it's one young lady. We went to middle school together and elementary together. And she was like, "Yeah, you used to always talk about me." And she's like a nurse anesthetist now. She has her own clinic, and
Mm,
we just have fun about it. It's a joke now. Of course, I apologize to her, but I was speaking and she was in the audience, and I was telling my story. And I was talking about how
right.
my stepmom was and how different things happened. And I said it made me feel a certain way, and I pointed. I said that's what made me talk about you when we were in school. And we
Wow.
laughed about it and everything. But it does, man. And you have positive releases, or you wind up turning to negative releases like alcohol and drugs, or
Mm,
abusing other people and things of that
mm.
nature. Yeah. So
That's a
tough
nugget right
upbringing.
there. That's
Yeah.
a nugget right there because there are times that kids are going through things that maybe the parents don't know about or
Yes.
can't help them through.
Yes.
And you talk about the importance of having positive releases. Let's bookmark that thought
Bookmark
because
that, because
we're
it comes
yeah,
back.
yeah, we're going to come back to how you discovered your positive release in just a bit. But before we get to that point, though, we're at the point where you're like 8, 9, 10 years old. You've already been through it. Your dad got badly burned when you were 3. Your mom, rest in peace, passed away when you were 4. And then your stepmom has been terrorizing you these past several years. As if that's not bad enough, now you got to avoid bullies at school.
Yeah.
Tell us about your next close encounter with death.
It's funny because I was a smart kid, naturally smart, but I was short. And so being short and smart, I mean, it's just a recipe for disaster when you're a kid and you grow up in the hood. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? I tried to play basketball. I was a basketball player, I was a football player, so that kept me a little bit somewhat cool, and I
a little
wasn't
bit.
bad at either one. But
Hmm.
now I got bullied though. It was some people out there that terrorized your boy. And I remember this one time running through the schoolyard playground, and I'm running, and there's three of them chasing me. I'm like, I can't let them catch me. I can't let them catch me. And they caught me,
Mm,
picked me up, body slammed me, boom,
mm,
punched me in the stomach, drug me to a swimming pool. It's right across the street. Threw me in the water, held me down. I'm fighting. I'm little though, little. I'm like trying to muster up the energy. And it came a point in time where I was under that water, and I couldn't get my breath. I just knew they were about to kill me. I'm like, I'm dead. I'm done. done, and just start seeing my life just flash in front of me. I'm young though, and I'm little. At the last second, they pull me up.